Good evening. Thank you for attending today's regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of Socorro ISD. The meeting is being held today, November 14th. The time is 7:02. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? 6:02. Being read by Saraí Núñez, a fifth grader at Paso del Norte.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Saraí. You may be seated. Next, we'll move on to Superintendent's comments. Dr. Espinosa.
Yes, President Guerra, members of the board, I would like to thank the Team SISD community for overwhelmingly approving Bond 2017. Yes. We had tremendous support from the Board of Trustees, from parents, from volunteers, teachers, employees, and community members, and it goes to show the unity in the Socorro Independent School District. And I am grateful to have such a great team behind us to help us give our students and employees improved facilities and also the needed new schools. This will certainly allow us to continue providing a safe and supportive learning environments for our children at every one of our 47 schools. Our students, they deserve it. They deserve it. So the turnout of support was truly amazing. The bond passed with more than 60% approval. It passed with 4 percentage points higher than the 2011 bond election. And bond 2017 was passed with the highest approval percentage among recent bond elections in the region's major school district, Isleta and El Paso ISD. So I'd like to recognize specifically AFT, the American Federation of Teachers, Socorro FT President Veronica Hernandez and her team. I'd also like to recognize the Socorro Education Agency, SEA President Angelica Soto and her team, right over here. Also, Empowered Educators Association, President Gabby Castellano and her team. Where are they at? They're here somewhere. Also, some of these individuals, they may be here, they may not, but I'd like to recognize these individuals, these amazing volunteers, their parents and their community members and their teachers. Endless opportunities. PAC Chairperson, Ms. Blanca Topete, the PAC Treasurer, Ms. Carrie Milden, PAC Secretary, Remy Garcia, our Attorney, Legal Counsel, Mr. Steve Blanco, and obviously, as I said earlier, our Board of Trustees. I know that a lot of time, dedication, heart, and soul was put into this election, and I appreciate what everyone did to support Bond 2017, especially on those Saturday mornings where we had a great outpouring of support, lots of energetic volunteers who hit the neighborhoods for the Bond 2017 walks. And now what we'll do is that we will move ahead responsibly and efficiently to continue providing endless opportunities for our 46,500 plus students in SISD and ensure that promises made are promises kept. So here's a 2-minute video. It's a short tribute and a thank you video to those who volunteered their time and their energy. Go ahead and play the video. Wow, again, thank you so much. So now it is my pleasure to introduce and welcome the newest members of our elite leadership team. Please stand as I call your name. We have the new principal at Helen Ball Elementary, Miss Brenda Mills. Please stand to be recognized. Sorry, Miss Soto, I meant new assistant principal, not principal. New assistant principal. Also, our new principal at Sanchez Middle School, Miss Iris Jimenez. In SISD, we pride ourselves in hiring the best and the brightest. Congratulations. Also, it's that time again when we get an opportunity to give thanks for all of our blessings, and we'll be doing exactly that as we celebrate our annual DSC Thanksgiving luncheon tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Our school district will be closed on November 20th, from November 20th to the November 24th. And on behalf of Team SISD, I would like to wish everyone a safe and a happy Thanksgiving holiday. Enjoy a much-deserved break with your loved ones. Thank you, President Guerra. That concludes my comments.
Thank you, Dr. Espinosa. Next, we'll move on to board honors. Mr. Escobar.
Good evening, President Guerra, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Espinosa. My name is Daniel Escobar, Chief Communications Officer for the district, and it is my pleasure to introduce tonight's recognitions. If you'll please come forward to receive our honorees. Our first recognition will honor a Team SISD athlete for qualifying for the cross-country state meet. The student did an amazing job representing Team SISD and her school at the Texas 5K cross-country competition. She placed in the top third of all runners that qualified for the meet. This student is now ranked as 5th best in the state and is being highly recruited by Texas Tech University and UT Austin. Congratulations to Socorro High School's Natalie Gomez. She is joined by her coach, Jeff Barros. Yeah, if we can have you please right up front for a photo. Just a quick note that the pictures taken tonight by our district photographer, Mr. Largo, will be posted on our district website. There is a camera icon on the bottom right-hand corner where the pictures are available for free high-resolution download. Congratulations once again. For our next honor, we will recognize the Eastlake High School tennis team for winning the 2017 District 2-5A Championship, as well as a bi-district championship. The Falcons went undefeated throughout the regular season and finished with an overall record of 20-1. Congratulations to these championship Falcons. They are Teo Esparza, Dakota Duchesne, Jaciel Enriquez, Christian Guerrero, Hiram Enriquez, Christian Calvillo, Tamika Holt, Eileen Martinez Alba, Amber Campos, Gabriela Soto, Giselle Rivera, Nalani Oviedo, Mariana Miranda, Michelle Aguilar, and they're led by head coach Pedro Vasquez. You see everybody at Tips? All right, if you'll hold up your certificates and just look straight ahead at Mr. Largo, please. Congratulations once again. Next, we will recognize the Eastlake High School boys cross country team for winning the 2017 District 258 Championship. Absolutely, round of applause. This is Eastlake's fourth consecutive championship title. The Falcons competed in numerous meets across El Paso, Albuquerque, and Houston, and came in as number 7 at the regional meet out of 28 schools. Congratulations to these championship Falcons. They are Edgar Gonzalez, Benny Sepulveda, Carlos Amendaris, Manuel Rodriguez, Anthony Lara, Luca Aguilera, Enrico Rodriguez. Assistant coach is Marissa Ray. And their head coach is Keith Quinones. Keep smiling, keep smiling. Congratulations once again. We have 3 special presentations in honor of outstanding members of Team SISD. First, we will recognize a Team SISD educator for winning the Texas Lawyers Auxiliary Teacher of the Year Award. The award honors teachers who have made significant contributions in law-related education and developing and supporting programs which enhance awareness of legal rights and the American legal system. From America's High School, congratulations to Teresa Candelaria. Congratulations once again. Our next special presentation will honor 15 Team SISD counseling teams for winning the 2017-18 Lone Star Bronze and Silver Awards. The 15 SISD campuses were among only 32 counseling programs statewide that received this distinction. So yes, approximately 50%, all from SISD. The Lone Star Award recognizes counseling teams for their effective school counseling programs that advocate for students. Congratulations to all of these amazing counselors. Our Bronze Award recipients are from Bill Seibert School, Virginia Bueno. And Laura Dominguez. From Chester, Jordan, Yvette Martinez. And Patricia Santana. From Herschel Antoine, Amanda Bustamante. And Sylvia Encina. From John Drugan School, Lisbeth Arellano. And Angelica Aldana. From Lujan Chavez, Paola Figueroa. And Yvonne Alvarez. From Purple Heart, Beatriz Isa. And Arturo Escajera. From Socorro Middle, Sonia Arostegui. And Sonia Galvan. From Walter Clark Middle, Dorita Hansby. Silver Award recipients from Desert Wind School, Clarissa Cortez. And Sarah Castillo. From Helen Ball, Evelyn Garcia. And Maria Washington. From Butler Elementary, Jennifer Madrid. And Rosie Rodriguez. From Montwood High School, Zulema Acosta. Oscar McClure. Adriana Martinez. Denise Cristobal. Gabriela Shimshak. And Annette Monsiváis. From Paso del Norte School, Monica Flores. Joe Jennifer Chabre. And Cristina Nunez. From Hernando Middle, Iris Parra. Mireya Reyes. And Joyce Rivera. And from Ituarte Elementary, Raquel Fraga. And Melissa Galvez. And congratulations once again to all of our amazing counselors and recipients of these awards. So if we can have you all please come forward for a photo with our superintendent and board trustees.
sure, but I haven't seen her. Just look at me.
Congratulations once again. Next, we will honor a group of Team SISD employees who are celebrating a milestone year in our district. These valuable members of Team SISD have served our district for 25, 30, 35, and 45 years. During their time in SISD, they have observed the growth of the district in schools, During their time in SISD, they have observed the growth of the district in schools and student population. Today, they help us serve more than 46,500 students in 47 campuses across SISD, now the second largest school district in the region. First, we will recognize the employees with 25 years of service. They joined Team SISD in 1992 when the district had some 16,000 students, 2,000 employees, and only 16 campuses. That year, the top song was "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston. Bill Clinton was Time Magazine's Man of the Year, and big movies included Aladdin, Home Alone 2, and Batman Returns. So celebrating 25 years of service in SISD are Dalia Acosta, Luz Boucher, Marlon Gonzalez, Candelaria Jimenez, Bertha Legareta, Laura Lujan, Miguel Martinez, Concepción Mendoza, María Nieto, Gloria Ortiz, María Ortiz, Beatriz Sandate, Renee Saucedo, Martha Solano, Griselda Tovar, Marianne Trujillo, and Angelica Varela. If we can have you come back to the front for a photo, please. Congratulations once again. Next, we will recognize SISD employees who have 30 years with the district. These valuable members joined the team in 1987 when the district had 9 schools, 9,300 students, and 1,150 employees total. In 1987, 1 gallon of gas cost 89 cents. The top-selling U.S. car was a Ford Escort, which was valued at just under $7,000. And the popular television sitcom was Full House, made its debut. So celebrating 30 years of service in SISD are Magdalena Aguilar, Gabriel Crespo, Eleonora Herrera, Aida Lesa, Armando Lopez, Margarita Marquez, Diana Padilla, Alba Reza, yes ma'am, Donald Rominsky, and Caroline Soderstrom. If we can have you all please come back to the front for a photo. Perfect. Congratulations once again. We'll continue with employees that have 35 years in the district. 35 years ago, in 1982, the district had 6,100 students, a little over 560 employees, and only 6 schools. Popular things to do in 1982 included listening to Michael Jackson's Thriller album, playing Miss Pac-Man video games, breakdancing, moonwalking, and watching the film E.T. That year, the first CD player was sold, and the U.S. postage stamp was only 20 cents. Celebrating 35 years of service to Team SISD are Dora Cooper, Heriberto Gardea, and Lupe Lujan. Congratulations once again. Our final honoree was not able to join us, but I still wanted to mention, as you see here, you may be at Pebble Hills High School. Mary Parazo from Pebble Hills High School is celebrating this year 45 years in Team SISD. So yes, please a round of applause for her service. And that concludes our recognitions for this evening.
Good, this is.
Good?
I remember you. Good night.
Good night. Next item is number 6, open forum. We greatly appreciate those individuals who have requested to speak to the board during open forum in regards to a specific agenda item. We are bound by certain time constraints in order to cover all the items on the agenda, and therefore must limit presentations to 5 minutes. Please respect the rights of others in your presentation. By law, the board cannot take action upon or discuss any item which is not posted on tonight's agenda, but we will give all presentations our serious consideration. Thank you. Let's proceed to open forum. First speaker is Mr. Don Rominski.
Members of the board, Dr. Espinoza, as you know, we have every year a Madrigal dinner. This year it is going to be December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And we'd like to have a special welcome to not only the board and the cabinet, but also to the whole SISD community. And to issue that invitation and tell you a little bit about it, I would like to have the Madrigal singers from and performers from Socorro High School just spend a couple of minutes with us.
Where could she be? You can find her at East Lake High School on December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Oh, I know that. That's the 4th annual SISD Madrigal Dinner Show. This year we will be presenting a
And singers, high beats to the wall. Wait. Why buy a unicorn when you can buy a ticket to our fourth annual SIC Magical Dinner? Wait, let me tell. This is work for the pros, not the wicked witch. Please join us on our fourth annual Magical Dinner entitled Midwinter's Dream Night. Hosted at Eastlake High School on December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Show starting at 5:30, dinner at 6. For ticket information, please contact the Socorro ISD Finance Department.
The king has an important announcement to make.
Lords of the kingdom, we welcome thee to Deep Manor. We also invite you to watch the Midsummer's Dream Night.
It's Midwinter's Dream Night.
Oh yeah, the unicorn, right?
Yes, indeed. Join us at Eastlake High School December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for a Midwinter's Dream Night. Tickets on sale now.
A very special invitation to the community and to the board members. Do we have something for the board members? We'd like to make sure that you have tickets to this. Anyone else, if you would please contact on the website or our Fine Arts office, we will gladly take care of you. And we sure hope that this is a great way to start the holiday season. Thank you all.
If that doesn't get you in the Christmas spirit, I don't know what will, correct? Next speaker is Mr. De La Cruz.
Thank you, Board, for having me. I had recently reached out to a Socorro Independent School District employee about a bullying issue that I had. Their response was, I bet it has been very difficult, but I understand you. There's a lot of bureaucracy in our district office and administration cover up a lot of things where our teachers cannot bring up things or the truth because we lose jobs or get reprimanded. My concern is how many suicides, deaths due to bullying have to occur for there to be some changes done to the policy or implement a plan to prevent these kids that are dying. SISD has over 3 suicides due to bullying alone. And yet our policy has not been touched since March of 2012. Senate Bill 179, David's Law, just passed in 2017. It amends the Texas Education Code 37.0832. And yet again, our policy has not been touched since March of 2012. Do we have to sit here and talk about bonds or salary raises so that we can take action? What is it going to take? 20 suicides? Maybe 15? We need to really put a plan together. Prevention is a lot stronger than punishment. And I'm sorry to say, but none is being done. as full in this day and age in a comprehensive high school with 2,500 kids. People talk that way. This is your leader at another district, your neighbor, and you guys are making it seem like we all think the same. Kids are dying out there. We're losing lives. We need to do something, and we need to do it yesterday. And if it can't be done, Mr. Superintendent, let's not watch things happen. Let's make things happen. We need change, and we need it now. Thank you.
I just want to clarify, that was not this leader, right? Did you say that was this leader?
No, it was the other leader from the other district.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. No.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item number 7, a public hearing. Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas First. Mr. Tony Ressa.
President Guerra, Dr. Espinosa, members of the board. Tonight we're holding a public hearing to discuss the district's financial rating for the 2016-17 year based on school data from the 2016 school year. The date of this hearing was published in the El Paso Times and the West Texas Courier as required by statute. The Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas, or FIRST as it is known, was instituted by the 76th legislature to achieve equality performance in the management of school districts' financial resources. This is the second year of the new scoring criteria for FIRST, which has 15 indicators. The school district could earn a maximum of 100 points and must meet the first 5 critical indicators. In all, a school district could earn 1 of 4 possible letter grade ratings. They are, a school district can earn an A for superior achievement if they score 70 to 100 points, B above standard if they score 50 to 69 points, C meets standards if they score 31 to 49 points, or get an F substantial achievement. The FIRST does not have a D standard. So let's look at the indicators and the achieved rating for the district. The first indicator asks if the district filed an annual financial report within 1 month of the submission deadline. For Socorro ISD, the submission deadline was November the 27th. Socorro ISD's audit was received by TA on November the 16th, well ahead of the deadline. I'm sorry. The second indicator has 2 parts. The first asks if the district received an unqualified opinion in the annual financial report on the financial statement taken as a whole. In other words, is this a clean audit, and if the district's financial statements are free of any material misstatements? They are. The second part of the indicator asks if the external audit is free of any material weaknesses in its internal controls. They are, and therefore we pass this indicator. The third indicator asks if the district is in compliance with the payment terms of all debt agreements at fiscal year end. Socorro ISD is in agreement with all debt agreements. The fourth indicator asks if the district made timely payments to the Teacher Retirement System, TRS, Texas Workforce Commission, TWC, the Internal Revenue Service, and other governmental agencies. The district did make timely payments to all of these entities. So the fifth indicator asks if the district net asset balance in the statement of net assets is greater than 0. The district's net assets were $196 million. The sixth indicator asks if the number of days of cash on hand and current investments in the general ledger of the school district is sufficient to cover operating expenses. There's a sliding scale for the maximum points that can be achieved if you have over 90 days of cash. We have 104 days of cash as of that particular fiscal year. And the seventh indicator notes the measure of current assets to current liabilities ratio for the school district is sufficient to cover short-term debt. We have over 3 times the number of current assets to liabilities, and therefore we scored the maximum 10 points for this particular indicator. The eighth indicator asks if the ratio of long-term liability to long-term to assets for the school district is sufficient for long-term solvency. Socorro ISD's ratio for long-term liabilities to total assets was 53%, which was lower than the 60% threshold to get 10 points. So therefore, the district received 10 points for this particular indicator. The ninth indicator asks if the general fund revenues equal or exceeds expenditures, and this excludes facilities, acquisitions, and construction. And if not, if the school district's number of days of cash is greater than 60 days, or equal to 60 days. We had $14.9 million surplus that particular fiscal year, and we also had 104 days of cash on hand. So the 10th indicator asks if the debt service coverage ratio is sufficient to meet the required debt service. It is sufficient, and therefore the district received 10 points for this particular indicator. So the 11th indicator asks if the district's administrative cost ratio is equal to or less than the threshold ratio. The ratio was well below the requirement, and therefore we received 10 points for this particular indicator. Number 12 asks if the school district has not received a 15% decline in student-to-staff ratio over the last 3 years. So of course, you know that our enrollment has increased for the last several years, and therefore we received a maximum of 10 points. And the 13th indicator asks, in comparison to the Public Education Information Management System, which is PEMS data, if that information was accurate or close to the annual report that was submitted, or then there wasn't a variance of less than 3%. Our difference in our PEMS submission to the audit was $495, and therefore well below the 3% threshold. So the last two indicators that I'm going to discuss with you, the 14th indicator asks if the annual financial report was free of any material instances of material noncompliance for grants, contracts, laws related to local, state, and federal funds. There were no instances, and so we generated 10 points. And finally, did the district address the question if the school received an adjusted repayment schedule for more than 1 year for over allocation of the foundation school program funds as a result of a financial hardship? We did not receive an adjusted repayment schedule and therefore earned 10 points. So in sum, the district received 100 points, which is the maximum points. So we received an A superior rating for the 2016-17 year based on 2016 data. So it's also important to note that FIRST requires school districts to provide certain disclosures with respect to the superintendent's current contract, as well as with board members' travel reimbursements and other information for the 2016 fiscal year. For the public, Dr. Espinosa's current contract, as well as the board's information, is available on the district's website in the District Accountability tab. It's under the First Financial Audit Management Report tab as well. The public is encouraged to visit this website and to review this information. Are there any questions with respect to the indicators listed, as well as the rating achieved by the district?
Do you have any questions?
So we're required to go over the 15 indicators, as well as to inform the public of certainly of the management report, but this is a public hearing, so at this point, I think we solicit input from the public.
At any time, if anybody from the public would like to come up and speak, please do so now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jody.
Thank you.
Next item, district reports. Mr. Tom Ianton.
Good evening, President Guerra, Dr. Espinosa, members of the board. My report will begin on page 12. The actual report will begin on page 13. The new elementary school, of course, we had the groundbreaking ceremony last week, and we have some pictures I'll show you in a minute on that. But this project is moving. We are doing a lot of underground work, preparing to start pouring some perimeter footings, and then hopefully start casting some panels later on this week, if not the beginning of next week. This afternoon, we received proposals on the majority of the rest of the bid packages this afternoon. The contractor is in the process of taking those back, doing an analysis and scoping them out, and will be making his recommendation for us to review in the coming weeks. As you can see, last week we had the groundbreaking ceremony. It turned out real well. We had a lot of students out there, and I think they enjoyed playing in the sand, with the shovels. These, like I said, are some of the pictures that we had of the project. Our next project is the Afita Chavez Montwood Middle School, the outside air upgrade. This project was completed, and we're in the working on the punch list and the closeout stage, and should be finalizing this project, and we'll be reporting back to you about any buyout savings or any contingencies remaining in the next couple of meetings. But this project is coming along, and we're punching it out and should be wrapping it up here shortly. Myrtle Cooper Rojas, the kitchen upgrades done by over the last few months were completed prior to the October intersection, and we have a punch list item on a few of the concerns at a couple of the kitchens, the flooring and some walls that were constructed that will go in hopefully towards the end of this week and take advantage of some of the downtime during Thanksgiving to do those repairs and stuff. But we are finalizing that project and should be complete by the end of the year. And I believe that completes my report. I'll answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Arrington? Thank you, Mr. Arrington.
Thank you.
Next item, number 9, consent agenda. Are there any items any board members would like to have pulled, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Gutt, I'd like to pull item F1.
President Guerra, if I could pull item C6 to update the total cost for facilities used to $155 for item C6.
Any other items?
Motion to approve consent agenda item with the exception of item F1.
Second.
And-
C6.
And can I just make that change, or does it have to be approved individually?
We can do it either way, but what do you think?
Okay. Motion to approve consent agenda item with the exception of item 9C6 and F1.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Nahara, second by Mr. Gondra. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve item C6 with the correction to $155.
Yes, ma'am.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Nahara, second by Mr. Ayub. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F1.
Mr. Gutt, I'd like to pull this item for us to discuss during executive, and then we'll bring it back whenever we come back.
Perfect, okay.
Yes.
Is that a second?
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Nahara, second by Ms. Rodriguez. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It's because what Ms. Nahara says, you know?
Everybody was just all
We'll move on to number 10, new business. 10A, consider approval of audit report for fiscal year 2016 and 17. Mr. Reza.
Yes, President Guerra, Dr. Espinosa, members of the board. Tonight, the district's external auditors, Gibson, Ruddock, Patterson, are here to present the comprehensive financial audit report for the 2017 fiscal year. Presenting the report will be Mr. Craig Gibson, a managing partner, along with Mrs. Vanessa Alarcon, manager, and Ms. Elsie Contreras, the in charge of the audit. Mr. Gibson.
Good evening. You know, my voice is always bad, but tonight is really bad. Of course, I guess if this was the 40s, I could pick up singing. But I'm going to start, and then I've got some excellent individuals to help me out. So the first graph here is a comparison of the district-wide revenue. The blue section represents the state revenue, and you see a very small increase, about 2 million increase relates to ADA. However, we had a decrease in our IFA EDA of about $1.5 million, so they kind of net out. The gold section is the federal, and there's about $1.5 million increase in the food service. Then the red is our local, and that's where you see the most significant increase. About $6 million of the increase relates to increases in property values, okay? Then we also had an increase in our interest income, and there was also a little less than $1 million of insurance proceeds as well that fed into that. This is the same information percentage-wise, and when you look at it from this perspective, there's not a huge fluctuation. Okay, now this one's got the most going on here. This is our general fund expenditures. And you can see by the size of the column there, our expenditures went up quite a bit this year. So we need to dig down into some of this. First of all, in this year, we had a 2% pay increase across the board. So that plays into everything. Remember, we're talking history here. The year ended June 2017, okay? Yeah, that when we brought this up in the Finance Committee, I got the same reaction because your most recent was different. So, but the blue section is instructions, so that's functions 11, 12, and 13, okay? And that's where we have the largest increase. So in addition to the pay increase, we added 85 teachers and 27 aides. So that's what makes up that significant increase there. The yellow section is the function 21, 23, and it's just the pay increase, pretty much. The red is the 31 through 36, our student support categories. So again, the pay increase, but the big contributors were 15 new staff. Then we also bought 20 buses and 10 vans. So that bumps us up. The pink is the admin, and that's pretty much the pay increase, and then the marketing that y'all did. Now the green section is the other one that had the large fluctuation, and that's our functions 51, 52, and 53. So 51, overall we had just under 2 million increase in payroll related to the increase. Then 2.5 million contract services and 1 million in equipment purchases. In 53, we hired 4 new software engineers, and we had a little over $500,000 in equipment. So once you boil it down, there was nothing unusual, but when you look at the numbers alone, you say, whoa, that is a sizable increase. But primarily, the contributor was the teachers, the addition of the teachers. And this is our favorite little slide here that y'all put up on your website. And I think it really does paint a good picture, let folks know this is what we're spending the money on. And I really like to see that 3 cents there. And I'm going to ask one of these ladies to take over,
Yay.
if I may.
Good evening. Let's see. Okay, so we've got the graph of the general fund, and what this does, it takes the expenditures in the general fund and divides it by ADA, and then we do the same thing with the state revenue. So the blue bars are your total expenditures, and then the red line is your state revenue. Above the red line is mostly funded with local money. So you'll see that the great portion is funded with state money. And it really was only a $1 variance between the prior year.
There was the increase in the expense on a per student basis was a significant increase. And again, it goes back to those items that we discussed, the major contributor being payroll. Okay?
This graph is on the general fund balance. If you have the bound report, that's page 42. And it shows that the district does show strong health, which plays into bonds and having a higher ranking and getting better interest rates. You'll see that there was a decrease in the red portion. That is the other, and that consists of committed funds, assigned funds, restricted funds. And so where you went ahead and made those purchases of the buses, of the vehicles, and made those expenditures, it was part of reducing your committed fund balance. So you had already made a plan, set that aside, and we see that reduction there. And then there's a slight increase in the blue portion, which is pretty much the no strings attached. That's money that you all have available to spend on district needs, and that increased by $3.6 million. The bottom numbers down there, you'll see the 106 days for 2017 are the days of expenditures. So what that means is that the district, if there was no revenue stream coming in, you all would still be able to operate for 106 days without any revenue coming in. So that's very strong. The district has a policy of having a minimum of 60 days, and so you guys are really above that. And again, the slight decrease from the prior year is for having to make replacements of equipment and furniture. The next graph is the district's refined ADA, and you'll just see that it's still growing. And what we noted in the Finance Committee meeting is it looks like you all are the only district in the El Paso area and maybe in Texas that still continues to grow over the years. So you see a little bit over a 400 increase in your ADA. The next graph is the Workers' Compensation Fund, where you all are self-funded. And you'll see that in 2017, the gold portion is the expense, and you'll see that that was a little bit less than your revenues. And overall, the red line is your net position, so it's a very healthy net position that's a very strong fund balance. And you'll see the blue portion across the 5 years that has gone down, and it's because the district was increasing its fund balance. It was having too much fund balance. So you all went and looked at the rates and cut that down in 2015 to have the revenues mirror more of the expenditures so that that fund balance wouldn't continue to grow, so that can stay in the general fund.
Stay up here. Don't run away.
Okay.
This is the health fund, and this is one that we've talked about the last couple of years, where the red line has gone down to 0 now, and so I know that you've put a plan into effect, but it is very, very important that we keep the equity in a positive position. Okay, so you kind of had a 3-year plan, and what we discussed in the Finance Committee is we might need to speed that up a little bit, but we've discussed it a lot with Tony, and I think your Finance Committee certainly has a handle on the situation as well. But it really is very important to keep that above zero. We have no findings, of course. I think at this point with the staff you have, you would be totally shocked if we had a finding, because they do a tremendous job. We have just 2 or 3 management comments which are extremely insignificant, but they're in the letter there. You can look at it if you want, and management's already addressed the issues. However, before I lose my voice, I want to let y'all know that your staff decided this year to step up the report to the highest level and do what we refer to as a CAFR. Okay, that is comprehensive annual financial report. Whenever you have some time to go through the back pages, you will notice there's a significant number of new schedules that are required to be termed a CAFR. What's going to happen is they will submit this to the Government Financial Officers Association, who will send it out to be reviewed. And if it passes, and I'm certain it will, the district will get a certificate of excellence in financial reporting. There's not that many school districts in Texas that have that certificate. So this is really going to be something that's going to put you on the map. So congratulations.
I really couldn't have done it without you.
Dr. Espinosa, President Guerra, members of the board, I just do want to thank my staff for all the work they've done with respect to the audit. Certainly, Rene Vargas and his staff, along with the other directors, they've done a lot of work on this particular document, so I want to thank them. I also thank you for your guidance. And I do want to say, Mr. Gibson, if you ever retire, you might want to consider being an FM DJ, because you got that little voice there. So unless there's any questions, I want to thank you.
Mr. Guerra?
Mr. Ayub?
Again, what you were mentioning, Mr. Reza, certainly you and your staff, we talked about this at length last night in the Finance Committee. Year after year, you and your staff demonstrate that you're able to manage our budget and our finances very, very effectively. That helps the district function the way it does. So certainly, kudos to you and your staff. Certainly want to thank Mr. Gibson and his staff, because they always give us a very thorough assessment of where we are and things that we can improve. And so, again, this works very well because of the teamwork and the hard work that you all do to make us successful. Thanks, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
We need a motion to approve the audit.
Motion to approve.
Second. I have a motion by Mr. Ayub, second by Mr. Gandara. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next item, 10B, consider approval of ground lease for the Socorro Veterans Memorial. Mr. Ianton.
Yes, President Guerra, Dr. Espinosa, members of the board. Tonight I have the privilege of presenting the ground lease for the Socorro Veterans Memorial. We've been working on this for the past few months. The report actually starts in a copy of the draft lease or the lease is in your package. As I stated, we've been working with the veterans, and I'll let them introduce themselves in a minute, but they want me to kind of go through a slide presentation, but you can ask them questions. But it's been an honor to work on this project. As you recall, back in October of 2016, we were approached by the veterans to either donate or lease them a vacant property on Socorro Road that used to be a municipal building and a few other things that the district had owned over the years, and we were not using it at the time. We met with, in December, we met with the facility committee, got some direction from the facility committee, and then I went back and met with the committee and started working on some details. In February of this year, 2017, we also brought in the legal counsel and started working on the lease concerning the donated land, and we had discussed it in a board meeting in subsequent months. Long story short, we have gone through the process. They have gathered the information. Some of the concerns that the board had were having to do with the adjoining property owners. As a part of the lease, attached to the lease in the back, is some documents that they have signed and notarized, and I have forwarded this to our legal counsel, and so they have worked out those agreements with the adjoining properties. The lease is a long-term lease, 50 years, and will be extended after 50 years. Could be extended for an additional 25 years. The rent is a yearly rent of $1 per year, as directed by the board. And of course, we have insurance requirements in here that they have fulfilled. They have also completed a survey on the property and provided that to us, which we will incorporate into the lease legal descriptions. And they've also hired a sculptor and developed a three-dimensional model, which you can see on the table to my right. But here is a nice little presentation that I'll go through. Hopefully I'll do it justice. I think they should be up here presenting, but I said I would present it. As you can tell that from the model in this picture, the design is going to resemble the missions of the valley, Socorro missions. It's going to sit on the property and basically face the road. It will include, in the windows, there are 6 arched windows that form the window, and those are black granite, and they will symbolize each of the wars, and I'll go through that in the next slide. But also on that granite will be etched the names of the Socorro veterans that fought in each of those wars. And those wars are World War I, II, the Korean War, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. And like I said, that the names will be etched in those, in that granite. It'll also include 6 bronze statues, as you can see in the model a little bit better than the pictures, indicating, representing the veterans of those wars, and they will be dressed in various uniforms of that time. And each of the pedestals that the bronze figures will sit on will indicate the services, the various Marines, Army, Air Force, etc. And then this is kind of the aerial view of it. Basically, it shows where the kind of location is in the parking. And then it shows a gray area, basically the location of the old fire station, that eventually they would like to build a museum in that location in the honoring of the veterans of Socorro. A dream will only be a dream unless we put a due date and take the necessary steps to accomplish it. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Jesse Montelongo, and he can answer questions, or I'll be here to answer questions too. And he can introduce the people that are here.
My name is Sergeant Montalano, retired U.S. Army, 26 years, combat service in Iraq. That's the mother veteran on the right-hand side. This is our President, Joey Hernandez. He put all this together. Our Secretary, Leonida Regalado. Our Captain, Mr. Ricardo Regalado. And Frank Trejo is our fundraising manager, project manager for fundraising. He helped us get here where we're at right now. Everybody here is very vital. We had some other members that couldn't be here, but if you have any questions, please feel free. We're on our way out. We want to leave something for the kids to take over. The Socorro Boy Scouts of America aren't here right now, but we endorsed them. I spoke to their leader, and they're going to be part of our project, candy bar sales. I also would like help from Socorro Independent School District with the ROTC coordinator for the school district, because I would like to get the kids involved from the school district as well. This is for them. And basically, that's all I have to say. If you have anything to say, feel free to ask us anything you want. Let me show you the model real quick. The sculptor's name is Julio Sanchez de Alba. He's world famous. He's from Santiago. He couldn't be here. He had a family emergency, but this is the model, and this is what it's going to look like. And like Mr. Ianson said, each one of the black granite windows will have all the veterans that died for Socorro, and the ones that went to war are still alive. They'll be on there as well. And there's a lot of them. And we also, each still soldier is going to be here, each different, will represent each war. And each one of the podiums will have a Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, etc. So watch out, Mission Trail, because this is a dream, and we didn't ask the city for help. We asked SISD for help. And I want to thank you, Mr. Guerra. I want to thank you, Mr. Ianson, and Mrs. Tovar. You all have been very big in helping us with this process.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I guess that's all I got, Mr. Ianson.
Good evening, Honorable Trustees, Board Trustees, President. I want to take this time to thank you for helping us out with this project. We're always making history, Socorro. History that we made history, Socorro. I'm part of it. Okay? My name is Jesus Hernandez. I've been living here, Socorro, since 1964. We're building this not for ourselves, right? For the people that are gone. So it's going to be a tourist attraction. Maybe because we're going to have a museum and also a tourist information right there. And this is, we tried this before, but we couldn't keep most of the veterans together to become a non-profit. And again, I thank you very much. And again, I was with the first graduating class here in Socorro in 1968. And next year we're going to be having, I hope, our 50-year reunion. Because some of us are still alive. But I want to say where it all started. I believe there was 31 of us graduated. And of course we're all top 10. Thank you so much for this privilege. And again, Secretary Chaplain, Mr. Trejo, Sergeant of Arms too. thank you, unless you want to say something. I don't know how many thanks I can give.
Well, we thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Mr. Guerra,
Yes, Mr. Gonzalez.
I'd like to thank all the work that you guys have done. It is time that we honor all those people that came from our community. Some of them died for this country. So it is time that we honor them and that we continue the idea that we have a free country thanks to the veteran. Thank you very much.
As I stated, we have been working closely with Mr. Blanco, our legal counsel, and we have gotten everything put together, and administration recommends consideration and approval of the Socorro Veterans Memorial Ground Lease as presented.
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Gondar, a second by Ms. Rodriguez. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Next item, 10C, consider approval of TASB Update 108 and local policy. Ms. Macias.
Thank you. President Guerra, Dr. Espinosa, members of the board, administration recommends consideration and approval of revisions to the following policies as presented from TASB Update 108 EF, EFA, and EFAA, and local policy EIF, FDA, FDB, FFAC, and FNF.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Nahara, a second by Ms. Rodriguez. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item 11, executive session. The meeting is to be closed for consultation with legal counsel regarding status and employment of O. Nahara to include recommendation of final action on suspension without pay and termination of employment for good cause. Status and employment of G. McClure to include recommendation from administration to suspend without pay and terminate employment for good cause. To discuss personal and real estate matters and to consider administrative recommendations for Director of Human Resources, Staffing and Recruiting, Director of State and Federal Programs, School Improvement Officer, and Assistant Principal positions at Mount One High School under Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551, and we're going to include F1, Amendment 1, Isleta de Sur Pueblo Tribal Empowerment Department Agreement, and that would be under Section 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. The time is 7:28. The board is back from executive session. The time is 9:04. We're going to go back to consent agenda 9F, number 1, Amendment 1, Isleta de Sur Pueblo Tribal Empowerment Department Agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Nara, second by Ms. Rodriguez. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to number 12, new business. Discussion and possible action regarding employment of O. Nahara and recommendation of administration to take final action on suspension without pay and termination of employment for good cause. Mr. Blanco.
Thank you, Board President Guerra, members of the board, Dr. Espinosa. In October, the board voted to issue notice to Ms. Nahara that she was being suspended without pay effective immediately and that she was being proposed for termination of her term contract. That notice was issued to her on October the 18th and signed for on October the 20th of 2017, so we know that it was received. Ms. Nahara did not file an appeal on either one of the actions taken by the board in October, so at this time we're asking that the board take final action and approve, number 1, the suspension without pay, which remains, and then ultimately, tonight, to authorize the administration to issue notice to Ms. Nahara that her contract of employment is terminated for good cause.
Motion as stated by our attorney.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ayub, second by Ms. Nahara. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I
Opposed?
abstain.
One abstain, motion carries. Next item, 12B. Discussion and possible action regarding employment of G. McClure and a recommendation of administration to suspend without pay and terminate employment for good cause.
It's my understanding that the board wants some additional information on this matter, and will receive it, and we will take it up at the December meeting. So no action tonight.
Item 12C, consider approval of administrative recommendations. Dr. Espinosa. First item, Director of Human Resource Staffing and Recruiting.
Yes, President Guerra and members of the board, at this time, administration recommends Ms. Elva Chavez to assume all the roles and the responsibilities as the new Director of Human Resources, Staffing and Recruiting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Ayub, second by Mr. Gonzalez. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Chavez. Item number 2, Director of State and Federal Programs.
President Guerra, members of the board, at this time, administration recommends Mr. Adam Starkey to assume the roles and the responsibilities as the new Director of State and Federal Programs.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Rodriguez, second by Ms. Nahara. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 3, School Improvement Officer.
President Guerra, members of the board, at this time, administration recommends Ms. Jessica Macias to assume all the roles and the responsibilities as the new School Improvement Officer.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion by Ms. Nahara, second by Ms. Rodriguez. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Assistant Principal for Mount High School.
Yes, President Guerra, members of the board, at this time, administration recommends Mr. Orlando Hairston and Angelica Romo as the new Assistant Principals of Montwood High School.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Ayub. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So there's no further business with this board. The meeting is adjourned at 9:08.